You know, every human being at some stage will go through the dark night of the soul and the valleys. I've come to a stage in my life where I'm never surprised anymore by the heartaches of people, the loneliness of people, the struggle of people. We went through some of this even in our own family. And I remember my little girl, my daughter, saying one day, I guess Dad, it's called life. It's called life. When she was hurting at the most in her young life, she said, I guess Dad, it's called life. We all endure it. The whole philosophy of Buddhism was to find an answer to dukkha, to suffering. And that's why on the very night Gautama Buddha's son was being born, Rahul, he left his home in search of nirvana because his answer was, you've got to be detached completely from any care or desire. That is the only way not to suffer. You have no values or no attachment, which I find rather intriguing. And I said in my book, I've written a series of books of great conversations. The first one was called The Lotus and the Cross. Jesus talks to Buddha. Second one, Sense and Sensuality. Jesus talks to Oscar Wilde. I think third was The Lamb and the FÜHRER. Jesus talks to Hitler. Fourth was New Birth, Rebirth. Jesus talks to Krishna. And so it goes. But I remember when I was doing the Lotus and the Cross on Buddhism, and I said to a Buddhist scholar in Thailand, I said to her, if detachment is what you seek, attachment to detachment, I said, can you tell me why the Dalai Lama is spending so much of his time for the liberation of Tibet? Is he choosing to be less than what he ought to be? Why does he care? He ought not to care. The quintessential man who represents your worldview is still attached by choice. She says, shall we just say, because he chooses to? I said, yeah, I guess that's what we'll have to say. Which means he's choosing to do wrong. To go in a path that he himself says you ought not to go. Jesus tells you and me to hunger and thirst after righteousness. Hungering is right. And what I find amazing is that as God takes you through these lonely and dark moments, I'll tell you what, you find you come out stronger, you come out better, you come out with an understanding of what heartache and pain is all about. I tell you, you will go through the dark night of the soul. I tell you, you will go through moments of great sadness and great loneliness.